My name is Evelyn Carter, and I am 28 years old. I still remember the sound that changed everything. Not screaming, not crying, just laughter. The kind of laughter people make when they think they have finally won. I was standing in the corner of my parents' dining room holding a birthday cake. I had baked myself while everyone around the table raised their glasses for my younger sister, Chloe. It was my 18th birthday and nobody had remembered. Not my mother, not my father, not even Chloe, but somehow they had all gathered together for her college acceptance celebration. I stood there awkwardly holding the cake, waiting for someone to notice. Nobody did. Then my father looked at me and frowned. "What are you doing standing there?" he asked. I looked down at the cake. I thought maybe... Before I could finish, Chloe laughed. "Oh my God, don't tell me you thought. Today was about you." Everyone laughed. Everyone. I stood frozen while my mother shook her head. "Honestly, Evelyn, you always have to make everything about yourself." Those words hurt more than I could explain because I had spent 18 years trying to disappear, trying to be good enough, trying to earn love that was given so freely to Chloe. And somehow, I was still the selfish one. That night after everyone went to bed, I sat alone in my room eating my own birthday cake. Then I heard a knock. It was my grandmother, Margaret. She lived 2 hours away and had driven through a storm after realizing nobody had answered her calls all day. She walked into my room, saw the untouched presents beside her feet and the tears on my face, and she understood. She didn't ask questions. She simply sat beside me. Then she said something I will never forget. "Sweetheart, some people are so busy choosing favorites that they forget. Treasures." I cried in her arms that night. The next morning, she asked me one question. "Would you like to come live with me?" My parents didn't even argue. My mother actually looked relieved. "Maybe that would be best," she said. No tears, no hesitation, no goodbye. Just relief. Looking back now, that was the greatest thing they ever did for me. Because Grandma Margaret wasn't just a retired school teacher. She was the founder of Carter Publishing, a company my parents had convinced everyone had gone bankrupt years ago. But they were wrong. Very wrong. Grandma had been watching quietly for years, watching how they treated me, watching who showed kindness, watching who deserved her trust. For the next 10 years, I built a life beside her. She taught me business. She taught me confidence. And most importantly, she taught me that love should never have to be earned. By the time I turned 28, I had become the CEO of Carter Publishing. The company had grown into one of the largest independent media businesses in the country. But my parents didn't know that, because after I left, they never once called. Not on birthdays. Not on Christmas. Not when Grandma had surgery. Nothing. As far as they were concerned, I no longer existed. Until one rainy Tuesday morning, my assistant walked into my office. "You have visitors," she said. I looked up and nearly dropped my coffee. My mother, my father, and Chloe, 10 years older, 10 years poorer, and 10 years too late. Their smiles disappeared the moment they realized whose office they had entered. My father blinked. "Evelyn?" My mother turned pale. Chloe whispered, "No," because the woman they had forgotten was sitting behind the desk they desperately needed, and they had absolutely no idea what was about to happen. Over the next few hours, I learned that Chloe had convinced our parents to invest everything they had into her husband's startup. The business collapsed. Their house was gone. Their savings were gone. And now they needed money. Lots of it. My mother started crying. My father looked ashamed. But Chloe looked angry, as if somehow this was my fault. Then she said something that made the entire room go silent. "We're family, Evelyn. You owe us." I stared at her and suddenly remembered every forgotten birthday, every insult, every lonely dinner, every tear I had cried in silence. But I also remembered Grandma Margaret's voice. Never become cruel just because others were. So I smiled and made them an offer. Not money, not revenge, an opportunity. If they wanted help, they would have to rebuild their lives honestly. No lies, no manipulation, no favoritism. And they would start at the bottom, exactly the way everyone else did. Chloe exploded. "This is humiliating." She stormed out. My parents followed her, and for 6 months I heard nothing. Then one evening, my phone rang. It was my father. For the first time in my life, he wasn't asking for something. He was crying. And he said 6 words I had waited 28 years to hear. "I failed you and I'm sorry." Not excuses. Not blame, just truth. And sometimes truth changes everything. Chloe never changed, but my parents did. Slowly, painfully, honestly, and, for the first time in our lives, we became something we had never been before. Not perfect, not happy all the time, but real. Grandma Margaret passed away peacefully at the age of 93. And on the day we buried her, my father stood beside me and whispered, "She saved all of us, didn't she?" I looked at the woman who had loved me when nobody else did, and I smiled through my tears. "No, she just reminded us how to love." People think revenge means making someone suffer, but life taught me something different. The greatest revenge isn't destroying the people who hurt you. It's becoming the person they never believed you could be and building a life so beautiful that their rejection no longer matters. What my family forgot on my 18th birthday, Grandma Margaret remembered, and that memory changed every chapter that followed. If this story touched your heart, remember this. Family is not always the people who share your blood. Sometimes family is the people who choose to stay. And here at Revange Story Room, we believe every broken heart deserves a second chapter. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and join us for more powerful stories of betrayal, karma, redemption, and hope. We'll see you in the next story.